Today we're going to talk about easy latches for your doors on a 1968, a 72 Chevrolet or GMC pickup truck. Welcome to the Lodge, and today we have purchased a new product. I was at a car show last weekend, and a friend of mine who has an earlier GMC vehicle had these door latches on it, and I could not believe how well they worked compared to the factory ones. I'm actually going to put some on my 57 GMC, but today we have them for a 72 GMC Blazer, actually a GMC Jimmy. It's kind of Blazer Jimmy. Got these from Summit Racing. They were not provided by anybody other than me purchasing them. They're called the Ultimate Easy Latch by Trique Manufacturing. There's a few sources you can get them from. You can get them online. You can from Summit. You can get them from other places. You do have to cut your doors to get these, and we're going to show you a little bit about the process. It looks like it comes with all of the bolts, comes with the door mechanisms. I believe you also need to shorten your door latch rods. So this is the part that actually goes in the door, right and left. They come with these plates. These plates are actually going to be where you cut your door out so that this mechanism will actually mount on there, and we'll show you a little bit about that as we go. Comes with one for each side. These two pieces do need to be painted. So after you test fit these, you're going to disassemble these off of them, paint them, prime them, paint them. They're going to match the color of your vehicle. The plates that are the striker on the vehicle itself, I have seen where they don't need to be painted. They don't appear to rust. I'm hopeful that they don't. If I ever have to take them off and paint them, I will. But they are the striker plates that go on, and you have a striker stud that's in here. And these you definitely do not want to paint, but the striker stud goes in here. It threads in. Well, it's supposed to thread in. We may have to chase the threads a little bit to get them to go in. Once they go in, I believe there's a lock nut or a jam nut on the back side of these. So let's get over to the truck and see what we got to do to cut them out. It's supposed to come with some templates in here and instructions. I normally don't read instructions, but this is the one exception that I'm going to make. So yes, it does come with a template that can be flipped over for each side. It also comes with a template on how to bend your pull rod and cut it off. So that'll give you some instructions. We'll get to that. We're going to start on the driver's side. It has nice color instructions, how to set the template in, how to cut the hole, where to mount, where to actually drill your holes. So a whole thing to do on this. So let's get right to it. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the second to the last page of this, and we are going to cut our template out. Now there's going to be a hole that we're going to have to cut this hole out with a razor blade, and there's a hole to pop this into on each side so that you can actually use this as the template. You'll tape it on with some tape, probably some masking tape that's going to come off fairly easy so you don't rip the template. It does say that you can reprint this off online. You just have to make sure you print it at 100% if you mess cutting the template up. And it has a crease here, a dotted line. This is where you're going to actually make a crease, and it will fold one of two ways. So you're going to want to fold it on that crease on both sides, and then get the crease just right all the way across. So this will now work on the first side as soon as I cut the circle out. We'll go over the truck and see what it looks like. All right, the first couple of things we're going to do is I have already taken off the door striker off of the body. And now I'm going to take this door latch out. Now granted, on your particular vehicle, you probably got a bunch of stuff inside to take out. Mine happens to be brand new doors, and these were fitted. So we're going to remove these, get them out of the way. But I got some cool Allen head screws out of the deal. Okay, now we're going to take our template and make sure it is positioned correctly. And we're going to hang it off of this screw with the bend in it. And what we're going to do is just take some pieces of blue tape, blue painter's tape, to hold this in place while we mark the outline. Now keep in mind we're going to have to use this on the other side, so don't mess it up. The other thing is you're going to have to remember, probably use thin pieces of tape because you do have to draw along the edges. I'm going to peel some of this off. Actually, we'll peel the whole thing off and just do itty bitty pieces. And there's a little bit of a curve on this, so you've got to kind of be careful. And up here, you're not going to mark around this. You're going to actually, this is just to hold it in place. You're going to just come straight across with your marking. You can always cut it a little short too. You don't have to cut real deep, because what'll happen is you can always come back with a grinder and grind some extra out if you have too much. And this is going to be the unit that's actually going to go on this side. And you'll notice that this unit actually has a little bit of a curve in here, so it actually gets cut inside of this. So you'll notice when you go to put this on, it actually wraps around where you cut. So you're going to cut along this beveled line, and when you put this on, it's going to cover that up, so don't worry too much about it. The other thing on the back side, there are some applications that don't have this extra little cutout in here. You'll notice that there is an actual insert or cut addition in here. And it's made to go in and fill this gap in here, which you can't see probably on camera real well. But it's a positioning, that's where you're going to position it also. If you don't have this in your door, all you have to do is grind that little lip off, make it look pretty, and it will go into place just fine. So that's the super easiness of it. So let's go ahead and mark this, and then we'll work on cutting it out. Now, depending on the color of your paint, mine happens to be a little bit light and a little bit dark. So you have a silver Sharpie and a black Sharpie. And the black Sharpie is going to go along this line. Remember, you're going to go across this. So when you take the template off, just continue that line straight across here. Okay, I can see the line all the way around. I can make these gaps once the tape is done. Now I'm going to use my silver Sharpie to do the inside so that I can kind of see where I need to go. And it's a little hard because you're doing it on this lip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll these tape pieces off, get rid of them. As long as they're peeling off your paper, I would suggest getting rid of them as long as they're not damaging your template. And you know, if you really mess this up, all you got to do is weld it back. So not a huge deal. So we'll take this off, get our black marker, finish out our line, which is going to be right there. Finish out a line here. Finish out a line here. Then we're going to take our silver Sharpie and finish out this way so we can butt into that. And then now it's just, actually get a little bit more here. So I've got a few tools that I'm going to try to use. I have large cutoff wheels on my grinder, which I'll cut the larger lines with. I can cut into here, cut that large line, large straight lines. I have a 4.5-inch grinding wheel with a cutoff on it. That will work great there. Once we get to the corners, I have a Dremel tool with little grinding wheels. And then for these curves, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to tackle that yet, but the little Dremel tool probably will. The only problem is I'm going through looks like a double piece of metal here, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge. This new piece, when it goes on here, is going to cover all of this up. It's actually going to be in that general range there. So it'll be pretty tight. We'll end up drilling the holes, and then you'll have this all cut out for the new door latch mechanism. Okay, it takes, 4 or 5 minutes of some careful cutting. I'm going to come in here with a floppy wheel or a sanding disc of some sort and clean these edges up, and then put a little bit of primer on this stuff. Probably don't need this anymore. We'll probably end up finding a way to whack that out. Okay, now in order to get the plate at the right height, we were supposed to go 3/4 of an inch from the center of this hole. The top of that tape is exactly 3/4 of an inch from the center of the hole. So that's where the top part of our plate will go. And when we put it there, at the top of that hole, you will notice that the indentation lines up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to clamp this on the best that we can at this level. Now what we'll do is at least be at a point that we can start marking and drilling our holes. I'm going to do one more measurement just to make sure that that is truly 3/4 of an inch. And that is right at 3/4 of an inch, it looks like. Okay, now that we've got it mocked up at exactly 3/4 of an inch, we have a 1/4 inch drill bit, and we're going to hold this in place, and we're going to make the first hole. And we're going to put our first screw in just to hold it in place while we do the rest. And now we can go ahead and drill the rest of the holes. We'll go ahead and measure just to make sure we're again in the right location. 3/4 of an inch, perfect. So next we'll get to a few more holes, and then we'll do some more mounting. We'll be back at you. Really close. Man, they close so good. That is so much better closing. I do have to get them in a little bit more, but other than that, they close super nice. Talk about secure. That's fantastic. Well, these were certainly worth the investment. They are a little bit to tweak. I am going to have to probably elongate the holes a little bit more in the body to get it to go over just enough and down, actually just up just enough. But with a little bit of adjustment, we'll get that knocked out. And we hope you found this video helpful. You can just repeat it for the other side and get them done. And man, these are going to be awesome. So thanks for being with us at the Full Octane Lodge. Come back to see more of this fun stuff in the near future. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Our legal team made me promise to display this disclaimer before we ended the video. Please take a moment to read it before you make any buying decisions.